I gotta change how I move, man.
What you mean by that? Moving in silence?
It's not even so much in silence. It's just like the world's changing.
I agree.
Like there's this fucking we can't say fuck, can we?
I'm trying not to. I'm really trying. I want sponsors to like us.
Right. But like just everything's moving so fast, man. We got to find different vehicles to try and stay ahead of the curve.
Mhm.
You know, 10 years ago, everybody got introduced to crypto. 20 years before that, real estate was the wave. 10 years before that, people were buying gold. Like, what's our next thing?
You could say AI, but like I feel like AI is just like the .com bubble in the same sense where you can't trust any of these companies. A new one's popping up every week, and no one really knows exactly how AI works. It's kind of like the same thing with iPhones, where like no one knows how their iPhone works except people who are really into technology.
Right.
And kind of like what BMW is doing now with cars, where you can't even fix your own car because they have their own patents. Like it's getting to the point where you can't fix your own stuff. You can't get ahead. You have to go to trust the institutions. And that's, I feel like, big with my generation is like the older generation, it's like you have to trust in the institutions. And my whole generation's like, why would we do that? Like there's nothing in it for us, you know?
No, I mean, like, and I get that. Like my parents went and worked a job for 30 years. They got a pension. They retired. That lasted how long?
A generation.
If that.
Yeah.
I think the corporations figured out real quick, like we can't sustain this.
Yeah.
We can't have people start at 18, retire at 48, and then take care of them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we're gonna run out of Social Security probably by the time you're looking to retire.
Thank you. I'll just keep on digging then.
Yep.
So I mean, but it's like that's a scary conversation because like I don't feel as old as I am.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like okay, by the time I turn 48, I'll have been working for 30 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
Insane.
Like I've been working since I got out of high school. So it's like when I turn 38, I have 30 years of employment under my belt.
Yeah.
30 years, or not 30 years,
48.
But, you know,
yeah.
like some substantial amount of years of business ownership under my belt.
Yeah.
But where is the actual finish line?
But, and that's also, you can get like really philosophical with that of like, what is the goal? What are you trying to achieve? Because you could say the finish line, for me at least, I know I'm trying to get to the point where my assets, my residual income from things I own, from maybe music I make, from properties I own, to just pay for my lifestyle. To me, that's the end goal. Whether that happens at 29 or 56, that's the end goal. To where I don't need a job. And I'd probably still have a job. I want to work. I like doing stuff. But it wouldn't be out of necessity to survive. It would just be to do.
I got you. I mean, like a work optional life is what I came to be my goal.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you set aside enough of your assets and start basically what they say, live off the interest, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have to be anywhere, but you know, this is nice. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
And what is that? And you know, that number's different for everybody.
Yeah. The things that people want and want to do with that money is different for everyone too.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm trying to spitball on this topic here, but like, what does it look like for somebody? Because I'm like, we got a pretty significant age gap between us.
Yep.
And
24.
Yeah, so I'm 37.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a generation in between here.
Don't you have like a 13-year-old?
I have a 14-year-old daughter. Yeah. And an 11-year-old son.
Yep.
So like they're closer to you in age than I am.
Yeah.
and it's just funny to kind of be in a workplace where, you know, we all like have the same opportunity.
Yeah.
And see so many different goals.
Yeah.
With that income.
Yeah, 100%. I think about that all the time now with like, because I never realized until working here how many types of people there were until a counter on the phone. You talk to 200-300 people a day. They're all working their own jobs, living their own lives, putting their money towards their own things. And I always have maybe I'm weird for thinking this at my age, but I always think I'm running out of time. Like I always constantly feel like I don't have enough time to do what I'm trying to do and build what I'm trying to build. And then I don't realize how big everything is. Like I'm thinking I need to get $1 million. That's a big number. Then I see a guy with a $3 million house taking $1 million out like it's pocket change. And I'm like, that's life changing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, has he always had that 3 million? Like, is that normal for him?
Yeah. Was that generational or did he earn that?
Normal for me is, get up in the morning, go to work, pay your bills. You go home, take a shower, eat dinner.
Yep.
Get up, do it again the next day, right?
Every day.
Every day. And then, you invest a little, you save a little, you spend a little if you're lucky, if you got time to. But like, I don't remember doing that when I was 18, 19, 20, or even thinking about that.
Yeah. Like the rat race, if you will, kind of deal.
Yeah, it didn't feel real to me until I got older.
It kind of just hit me starting here at my last job when I was at the dealership. I was just getting up and making money, going to work to make money, to buy things, to pay my rent. And I was like, oh, I want to buy real estate in the future. And like, that was a goal that I had, but I didn't have the knowledge to be like, I need $8,750 to put this much money down a 3.5% FHA loan to earn this much money residually every month off of that. Like that wasn't in my head. It was just, I need money. I want to buy real estate. I want to pay my bills and I'm good.
Bro, mine was not even there. Like everyone around me owned a house. My mom owned homes. My grandparents owned homes. But when I was going to work, I thought when you graduated school, you were supposed to just find somewhere to live.
Yeah. Okay.
like that was adulting to me, was like going out, getting an apartment.
Yeah. And
paying my own bills. I had made it.
Yeah.
That was all I aspired to.
Yeah, definitely.
Until I got fired for the first time.
Okay. Like, how old were you then?
I was 23.
Okay.
So like I haven't worked a whole lot of jobs in my life, but after I left school, I was working at McDonald's full time.
Okay.
Didn't like it. But that was a job that I had part-time, full-time since I was like 16.
Yeah.
So I was comfortable. I was familiar. Yeah. Started realizing like I really can't do what I want to do making $150 a week. So I started looking for other things and I quit that job. Started working as an admin for $10 an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
Ended up leaving that job for a janitor job. Was paying $16 an hour. So that's.
And what year are we talking again?
We're talking like this was between 2008 and 2010.
Okay.
So I went from making minimum wage back then, which was like $7.
Yeah.
So I went from making $7 to 10 to 16.
Okay.
In the span of 2 years. So I'm the richest of my friends.
Yeah, definitely. Even 16 now is pretty good. So like you're getting you buy.
Yeah.
Back then it's like
I was tier 1. I bought a car with my own money, had my own apartment. I was on the 3rd floor with the cathedral ceiling.
Ooh.
Had the view of the man-made lake.
Ooh, okay.
All my friends, they would come over. I had cable. That was a thing back then. Like it wasn't
cable.
Just
streaming services.
Yeah, we didn't have the closest thing we had to streaming services was like satellite.
Okay. You still got Netflix on like a disc back then, right? You had to order it.
No,
you're like, you have Blockbuster.
No, Liam, like Netflix wasn't even around, man. We went to Blockbuster.
Yep. I was 7 going to Blockbuster. I don't even remember when I went to one last. It was a distant childhood memory.
Yeah. Blockbuster was still around. So I remember me and my girlfriend, who's my wife now. That was our thing. We would go to the movies, and go rent a movie from Blockbuster, get the popcorn, the bucket packet.
Okay. And
we bring it back home. And we were doing that, paying $690 a month for a 2-bedroom.
Oh, I was okay. My first apartment, I moved out when I was 19 with my buddy, and we paid $1,350 for our first 2-bed apartment, 2 bed, 2 bath. and we were paying probably about $6.90 a piece, all in with utilities and stuff. Not counting internet, not counting existing food, all that type of stuff. I mean, and I'm making $13 an hour. He's making 12. That was it. I had no money saved really at that point, like maybe $3,000. He was probably about the same boat because he just left college. He dropped out after a year to be a mechanic, and it was just like, it just was a perfect storm of, I got kicked out of my house and he's like, I don't want to live with my parents anymore. I tasted the freedom. I'm not going back. Hey, we got $1,500 for a down payment. Let's do it.
I'm trying to figure out how you guys eat.
Yeah. Eat like actually, or eat like build wealth?
I mean, so both actually, because the way I see inflation going up, I was fortunate enough to, like I said, I've always been ahead of the curve, like ahead of whatever the inflation was.
Yeah.
I just became aware of inflation maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. But that's when it got really bad too. That's when COVID hit, and right before COVID, we printed the most money ever in human history, and our dollar lost a quarter of its value all at once. So like, that's when everyone really felt it, I think.
So what do you mean by that when you say the dollar lost a quarter of its value?
So your dollar is just worth less because there's more of it now. I don't know if that's a great way to explain it, but pretty much like, it's just supply and demand at that sense. There's more of a thing, and there's the same amount of things to buy with that thing. So your value went down within the dollar. Like, you still, $20 is still $20, but it's not buying you what $20 bought you before we printed all that money.
It ain't going as far.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So yeah, you out here with the big brain, with the finance degree.
Something like that.
But I mean, like, so in my life where I'm making $16 an hour, where that I could buy a 2-bedroom apartment, you're basically saying it costs 3 times as much to live the same way I was living
pretty much
now back then. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And that's not even counting things that are getting more expensive, because this is a whole other rant, but like, if you add the inflation as just one separate thing, I feel like the internet's made niches more popular where people can go find their spaces in whatever their realm is. And now things are creating value in their realms. And you can't even quantify this, I think, into a real number. But I think Pokemon cards are a great example of 15 years ago, you bought Pokemon cards because you liked Pokemon. Now there's 5 million people who all really like Pokemon, who all converse with each other on the internet and decide collectively what the value of that piece is within their circle. So if you want to enter that circle, the price is higher now because the people in there have already decided what is worth value, let alone actual value. Now you have cultural value as well. And I feel like that you can't even quantify that into a real number. And that makes everything more expensive, or like, it's hard to find your entry level into a niche now. I
remember when I was trading Pokemon cards in the 3rd grade, we didn't have any money. So we traded them to, like, it wasn't a real number. So I would give somebody my pizza on Friday, like, hey, on Friday, I'll give you my pizza for that holographic Charizard. And pizza day at school was like before they stripped all the good snacks out.
Michelle Obama.
Before they stripped all the good snacks out of there, pizza day at school, you get the little square pizza with some, with a whole bunch of sauce and some meat on it. You give somebody one of those and they give you a holographic Charizard card. You put it in your sleeve.
Yep. And it was worth a slice of pizza. It was your lunch that day. Now it's worth $200,000.
Wish I still had it. So if my mom is watching this and you threw out my book,
come on,
$200K.
$200K at least.
That's what she owed.
Like $1 million or something, right? Get it graded, PSA graded, pay for that.
Oh my goodness. And that's the thing too. Like, the value of things, nobody knows what's what anymore. So like, what's our baseline when we're talking about how to actually build wealth? Like, do you buy or find 200 Pokemon cards and retire? Or do you actually still go to work for 30 years to get to the end game? Yeah.
But also, who says the needle is not going to change again? Because we printed all that money in 2019, 2020. We had the 2008 crash. We had the .com bubble. And all these things are happening more closely together. And who knows what the next one's going to be? Maybe an AI bubble, maybe a dollar collapse, maybe a world war. Who knows what that could be? But the needle's always going to change. So even if me at 24 now works till 54, who's to say that the goal I'm aiming for now is even feasible by the end of that 30 years?
Do you think people your age have a plan?
I think it's weird because I would like to say I'm one of the people in my age group who's like really on top of money, where like I can learn about it, I'm into it, and I want to like, yeah, I'm really obsessed with it where I like want to take it far and I have a job in it and all that type of stuff. But in that same sense, I'm barely keeping up. And if I have all these plans and all these ideas and I'm still just kind of figuring it out and getting by, I can't imagine how someone who doesn't care about money or doesn't pay attention to it and is just kind of using it to live, I can't imagine how they would have a concrete plan. I think a lot of people's plans is, oh, the system's fucked, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything for me. I'm gonna wait for it to crash. I'll pick up something from the ashes. But I feel like the plan is just kind of survive right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate. I don't have like a rags to riches story. I've always been ahead of the curve. So it's like at this point in my life, by every metric of a somebody in their 30s,
Yeah.
I've always been ahead of that bar.
Yeah.
So and I'm starting to feel a squeeze.
That's crazy.
Like
knowing what I know about you, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
So it's
you being on top of this stuff for 15 years, like you being in real estate, selling real estate, owning real estate, and you're feeling it. How is the average person with one source of income as their W-2 job? How could they not feel it? You know?
And so that, and I think part of the reason we started this is because we've had this conversation and we want other people to, kind of chime in on it. What are we doing collectively? Because we all have to share this planet and share this society. And, if there are billionaires and trillionaires that are existing out there, what are they doing to get there? Do we strive for that? Or do we all collectively become, Bernie Sanders socialism? Like,
and what's the end goal of that? If we get into that, like, what does that world even look like?
There's a spectrum.
Everything's got to change at that point. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like, what's your plan? And then I'll kind of share what I'm doing to kind of stay ahead.
My plan from the get-go has been own property, rent that property out, appreciation and rental income pay for my lifestyle at X amount of units. Who knows what that'll be? I need to learn the numbers more still. But my plan was always use my money that I earned from my job to invest into assets like gold, silver, crypto, stocks, anything I feel, in my point, that could earn me more money, use that to get into hard assets, which is real estate. It was something that's earning income, I guess you could say, an income producing asset. And that's been my plan for the past 6 years. And like I've done the first parts of that, of the retaining my wealth, because that's the big thing with investing in gold and silver the past 5 years that I think it's like saved me, has been I've over 100% of my money in that, because that's where I feel like inflation's kind of, wherever you see inflation the most is like in the gold and silver price. And like that kept me on the path to have the money saved now to get started for that. But my plan was just to buy real estate the whole time, to dumb it down, really.
I'm not saying that's a good plan because I agree with it. I'm saying that as somebody who for the last 15 years has dealt with people that have started with less than and have become, work optional through real estate.
That's awesome.
I've seen people. I'll go back to 2017, pre-COVID. Because a lot of people, they'll make the argument that, oh yeah, everything was cheap during COVID. You could have bought anything. I've been selling real estate since 2013, and the amount of people I've seen come from a negative net worth to being worth over $1 million came 100% from investing their money in housing, in the stock market, taking the income they're making from work and putting it somewhere where it can grow faster than they can earn it.
Okay. Yeah.
So like 100% I'm with your plan.
Hell yeah.
I've seen it done, and it doesn't take I'm not gonna say it doesn't take a long time because that's relative, but on average, I've seen people get rich in 10 years.
Yeah. And I would say I'm 5 years into it, I would say. I really think I started at 19 and then let's say 4 years financially invested, 5 years mentally invested. Like I really had the plan together in 4, I would say. Like where dollars started moving towards the investments.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the next 6 years goes.
Helps to have some extras. Like, what was it like when you invested your first dollar in precious metals?
So my first time I bought gold, I bought a 1 ounce Johnson Matthey bar when gold was at 1999 an ounce. It was like right before it hit $2,000. I'm like, I want to buy in before that $2,000 mark because I don't know when it's going to come back down. And now we hit 5, and it's been a great investment, but also ridiculous that I was thinking like, oh, we're going to be there for a while. So I don't know. That feeling was like I didn't really know what I was doing at that point. I was just kind of the last guy that kind of mentored me at the dealership I was at. He multimillionaire through Bitcoin, Ethereum. He bought in back in like 2011, 2012. Like he was
so you're invested in cryptocurrency too, not just physical.
Yeah, my thought process when I was buying it, because I guess it really wasn't one thing or the other. When I like really knew what I was buying, it was gold and silver are thought of to be the safest investment. Crypto's the riskiest. If I split my income 50-50 into those, I'm safe technically. You know what I mean?
50-50.
And it was give or take, it was that for a while. And then I maybe had like, let's say like 48, and then the other 4% in cash just to have a emergency fund and stuff. But I would say I was pretty deep. That was the investment. And it like skewed one way or the other randomly times, like 60% in crypto, maybe 60% in gold and silver whenever markets moved, whenever I got like, I would get a tax return. Oh, crypto's down $2,000 in crypto.
So you were all in on, I'm going to invest my money here.
Yeah.
Did you know it was going up, or you just kind of had like a gut feeling like this is the right thing to do?
I didn't really have an idea, but then I had kind of someone mentoring me. So I feel like that really helped me of like, I saw someone 20 feet away from me working the same job, same company, who's a multimillionaire off of doing the thing that he's telling me to do.
So it was the exposure for you.
Yeah, it was just like, I knew I wanted to invest before that. I just didn't know how or what to invest in. And then I had someone show me exactly what he did. And like, just having that around me really helped me. I think just like I started from that point on, when like first met him, he's just like, look into this. And then I would have my headphones in cleaning cars, and I'm just listening to finance podcasts every single day. This is before I even started school. Just every day I'm listening to finance, crypto, gold, silver. I'm listening to some type of podcast teaching me the terminology of something.
Well, that's interesting to me because I hear a lot of stories start that way. Somebody had a mentor, they had a coach, a friend, a family member that kind of introduced them to how to make money outside of work. And it's like, I think I had the opposite. I think I had a lot of people around me that weren't doing the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, how do I break out of this silo? Like,
okay. Yeah.
I remember working a job and the CEO came in and this was at my janitor job where I was making $16 an hour. Like I said, I'm top dog in my circle as far as like earning money.
Yeah.
And this billionaire walks in that just bought our company.
Okay.
This is the guy that signs our checks.
Private equity kind of deal, or?
Yeah. So, and I didn't know anything about that then.
Yeah.
So he walks through the door, dude's shirt's untucked. He looks like, I don't know if you ever used to watch Ghostbusters, but there's this green ghoul thing. I forget his name.
I think I've seen that though. Yeah.
This is what the guy looks like.
Okay. He's
walking in on this floor that we just buffed and waxed.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking him up and I'm like, there's no way. Like, this dude's 37 years old, owns this, private company in a foreign country, and he comes over here and buys the place that I work at.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
Yeah.
I'm Wikipediaing the shit out of his page. I'm like, what's going on with this? You know, we didn't have like chatbots and AI back then. We just had Google.
Yeah.
So
Do your own research.
yeah, so I'm Googling this dude. What does he do for a living? And all I could find was he has a 4-year degree in finance, and he made a lot of investments with private equity when he was younger. And I'm like, the differentiator between me being a janitor and him being the CEO of a company can't be a 4-year finance degree.
Definitely.
There's got to be something.
I have a 4-year finance degree and I'm not.
There's got to be more to that story. So,
yeah.
Like you said, I learned about private equity, leverage was a word that kept coming up in my search.
Other people's money.
OPM. Yep.
Yep.
That got me into researching OPM because I didn't have a lot of money compared to the people that I was looking at.
Yeah.
And I found Mark flips houses like his hair is on fire. It was an online course that I found on World Star Hip Hop.
Okay. They had that on World Star. I only ever saw like videos of people fighting or music videos.
Yeah. I was in the basement and I'm on my desktop computer. Trying to figure out like, hey, what pays well to somebody that doesn't have a degree?
Yeah.
That's got a family to feed. What can I start tomorrow? Yeah. And the answers were car salesman, insurance salesman, real estate.
All sales.
Yeah. But I found this course, Mark flips houses like his hair is on fire. He wanted $997 for it. I'm like, I don't have that. But Google took me down the search again. It's like, go to a real estate investors meeting.
Yeah.
I go to a real estate investors meeting. I meet this woman there. She says she'll teach me how to wholesale for the low price of $6,000. I don't have $6,000.
I don't know. Definitely not.
Back to Google I go. Mm-hmm. She did give me a little bit of advice. She said, hey, if you don't have the cash right now, go to this website. You'll get your real estate license and you can come work for me.
All right. That's a plan.
That's a plan. And it just so happened that there was a Groupon available that day for $20. So
same Groupon now is $200. I was looking a couple weeks ago to start my course and on discount it's $200.
But I'm saying that one conversation, that CEO walking in changed the course of my life.
Yeah. Just seeing the exposure.
Just the exposure of it changed how I thought about earning money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm hearing that in your story when you're like, oh, this guy, we're doing the same thing. We're in the same space. Why don't I have what he has? Not in a jealous way, but in like a
objective, just like I'm working the same job. It's like when you're next to someone on the floor, it's like, you're doing the same job, same day. He's getting a $10,000 check. You didn't get a check that week. You're doing something wrong. You're like, there's a way you can get there. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even be in the building.
There's a disconnect in that. And I think, you know, kind of the, like I was saying, the goal of this is to get more people exposed to how to turn their money into that ownership and into building wealth without having to, you know, pinch pennies.
Definitely. And I still think you kind of have to. That's also been the other part of my plan is like, just because you're earning good money, and like we've even talked about that before, just because you're earning good money doesn't mean you shouldn't be pinching pennies sometimes. Because if you want to maximize the money that you do want to invest or the things you want to spend your money on, period, like there's ways you can cut costs in your life with still living within your means. And like, there's ways you can kind of ball on a budget, but like, I feel like a lot of people like, and this is a whole social media thing, I feel like, where I think Coachella is a perfect example of that. There's people taking out loans on a firm of a year to go to Coachella for a weekend for like $12,000.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too. So there's a couple schools of thought on this. Mm-hmm. I'm of the school that money's to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. The way I ensure that I enjoy my money is making sure that I have enough of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So if I want to go to Coachella, I'm fortunate enough to be at a job where at any point I can increase my income.
Yeah.
By just having a different output, right?
Yeah. Talking to the right person, talking to more people.
The more inputs I give, the better my results, right?
Yeah.
You know, I understand that a lot of people don't have that right now.
Yeah.
And I want to be careful how I say it, because I don't want to, like, there's a lot of people online that shit on 9 to 5s.
Yeah. 100%.
Right.
Here we are at 7:30. We've been here since 9 a.m. Right. So we're doing this.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's not a 9 to 5 versus a entrepreneur thing.
Yeah.
It's more of a, how can I maximize my income so that I don't feel the burn of expenses.
Yeah.
Right. So, you find things in life that are really important to you. Maybe that's going to Coachella. Maybe that's going on vacations.
Yeah.
And, you pour your income into owning that.
You prioritize it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it for me, it goes beyond prioritizing.
Okay.
It goes to, this is something I'm not willing to negotiate.
Right.
I've been paying for YouTube Premium for 7 years.
You're not having those ads.
I'm not dealing with ads when I'm trying to enjoy my phone.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a non-negotiable for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm not going to eat to make sure my YouTube Premium stays on.
Yeah.
But YouTube Premium is one of those things, like one of those comforts in my life that I'm not willing to give up. That's my guilty pleasure. I give them, and I pay for the family plan. So I give them their $25.
Yep.
So that I don't have to experience ads when I'm watching YouTube.
I would love to do a podcast about that one day. I want to, like, do the research into it to have stuff to talk about. But what is, like, the long-term brain effect of us getting advertised to constantly nonstop every day for like 20 years? I can't remember the last time I went a full 24 hours leaving the house, being on my phone, doing whatever, not getting advertised to. I couldn't.
And you know what? That would be a whole nother podcast, because I've even told my wife, like, hey, stop watching the news.
Yeah.
You realize that's a TV show.
Yeah. Entertainment.
They adhere to the Nielsen ratings just like you. Yeah, there's news that did happen, but the way they presented it to you is sensationalized.
Yep. I'm kind of the same way to what you were saying before, of like, you
like
always
and subscribe.
Comment too. No, I'm in the same school of thought as you on that, of like, when I was first getting into crypto and metals and real estate, I wasn't watching the news or like reading articles from New York Times. I was like, who's a guy on the internet doing exactly what I'm trying to do? What is he doing? What is he saying? What is he watching? Or if I can find the source as well of, like, closest example I can think of, I saw this one guy, he was investing in, I want to say it was Hershey's, but he wasn't investing off anything with the stock performance. He was calling the farms of the cocoa producers and asking about the pH level in their soil, and putting or calling the stock off of that, off of how he thought the yield was going to be and how much chocolate was going to be produced and all that. Like, you can get that deep into it and go to the direct source of everything. But how deep do you want to get? What part makes sense to you? How much work do you want to put in? And that goes to my whole other argument. We can go into that another time too, is like, the only two forms of currency, I think, are time and money. And like, because money itself isn't currency. Like, that's a whole other thing as well. But like, you can't just say the US dollar is currency. It's so much deeper than that. There's other forms of currency, like pizza for your Pokemon cards. Like, currency is whatever you make it to be in the context that you're in, you know?
See, and that's what a lot of people are lacking. The ones that haven't figured it all the way out. They're making good money, but they're not getting ahead, or they're still in the same spot after making good money for a while. I think they're lacking a system.
Yeah.
Your system, you're saying you're going to bring in income and own real estate.
Yeah.
Before, it was bring in income, own gold, which is appreciated over time. It's gone up in value. So now you don't have to work for that money. It's already
money worked for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing with me. Mine is get the income, own business.
Yeah.
It's a simple enough strategy. I know there's a guy that I follow for a while. His whole thing was get money by Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah.
And
I think I've seen him.
That's worked out very well for him. He has a system. I don't believe in get money and just buy Bitcoin with the same fervor he does, but he has a system that's working for him.
Definitely.
And I think what people need to do is find their system.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to protect the income that you make and prevent it from being spent tomorrow on things when inevitably prices go up or value goes down, depending on which
or both could happen as well at the same time.
which side you're thinking of. Because to me, prices, like you said, prices don't really go up.
Mm-hmm.
The value of what you have goes down, and it takes more of it to buy it.
Yeah. And then prices can also go up separately. Like, I think gas is a great example of that right now, of like, technically the price of gas is going up. We also still have inflation. So gas is just more expensive baseline because of the inflation. But the price of gas is going up because of the everything happening in the world right now. But also we could lower that price of gas by creating more gas.
Well, see, that's the thing too, because I think the last time I checked, the barrels of oil are the same as they were the last time we went to war.
That's true.
But for whatever reason, the gas prices are double.
Yep. But even when something happens in the market that causes gas to go up or oil to go up, gas stays up a little bit longer because the price, they're allowed to keep it up. There's no law against it. They can.
No, that's called capitalism.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, no, I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm not against it, but
everyone's got to get theirs.
You know, there are winners and losers. That's the way the system is designed. We digress. From ownership, participation. You can't just participate in the capitalism, right? You got to own a piece of it.
100%.
So how do we get from we're working a job, right? We go there, we putting in our 40 hours. Sometimes we're working 2 jobs, putting in 80 hours.
Yep. Having a business on the side too.
Got a business on the side. We're driving for Uber, DoorDash. You know, Amazon Flex is a big one now. I see a lot of people you know, I almost did a YouTube video on that.
All right. That can be a podcast in the future.
Yeah. So I'm gonna clip that one.
All right.
But we got all this gig work going on. How do we take that income and turn it into investments and ownerships so that we don't have to work 79 hours a week?
Yeah. And that's tough too, because I feel like a lot of it's behavioral for sure. But also with the gig economy right now, which is like, I think kind of dying. I don't want to say it's completely dying, but I feel like it hit a peak a little bit after COVID where everyone was door dashing because you couldn't go outside. And then people were like, oh, I can make money door dashing. And then more people kept doing it. And then it kind of went down because you made less money because there's more people doing it. So I might be wrong, but maybe the gig economy is on the downtrend. But even so, the people working in the gig economy, even if they are still there, half of their money I feel like is going into their car being kept well, or I mean, you got to pay taxes on that. I don't know if a lot of people are paying taxes on that money, but I feel like your money is just going into living. Like even when you're making 20, 30 an hour at DoorDash at the peak of COVID, like a lot of that money I feel like was going to the day to day, you know?
Yeah, a lot of based on the files I'm seeing, I don't think they're paying the taxes on it. But, you know, as far as I can tell, you know, the income threshold for paying taxes, they didn't owe any anyway, if they're doing them right.
Yeah. Because you can write off depreciation of the car, the miles, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you can start by getting your money back, because like I think tax planning is so important for everybody.
Yep. I feel like it's underappreciated too. I feel like people think what we do is lame. People think taxes are really lame. No one talks to the tax guy.
Yeah, and you only talk to him once a year.
Yeah.
Like he's off in his lonesome. He's in his office. He's buried in receipts and tabulations. But he's like the most important person if you want to really set your year up the right way.
Yeah.
Get a tax strategy for the year. Go look at your W-4. You know, put the right deductions on there. So you can either keep more money in your pocket during the year or get more back in your refund at the end.
Yeah, especially self-employed people. I feel like that's where they really mess up by not talking to tax people, and they think they can do it themselves. I can't tell you how many people in the past month alone we've had to disqualify their loan because they made $200,000 last year. They wrote off 175 of it, and they can't qualify for their loan of 200,000 with all their other debts. Like they can't do it.
I got a guy. We talk about it every year. We have never done a loan together.
Yeah.
But he's in that situation where he makes $300,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever the lady that files his taxes just doesn't record it. Like it's
crazy.
That's the thing. Like she puts it all on there, writes it off, and they're all legitimate expenses.
Yeah.
I've looked at his tax returns. They're all legitimate expenses, but I just feel like they're in the wrong categories.
And you don't need to write everything off. Just because you can write it off doesn't mean you need to or should write it off. Sometimes it makes sense to pay more in taxes. Like everyone thinks you can get over on Uncle Sam, which like there's ways to do it. I have my own LLC. Like there's ways to do it, but are you like actually paying attention to what you're doing, or are you just trying to be like less money in taxes possible? You know?
We're gonna clip that too. That's gonna be another episode.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
All the taxes that you don't have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I feel like people are underestimating when they're you're working these gig jobs, you're working a 9 to 5 where you're paying taxes out of your check. They're taking it right out of there.
Yeah, you don't get a choice.
You get the refund at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the year, I should say. What are you doing with that? Does that get invested too? Or are you paying bills, paying catch up?
This is the first year. So back when I was talking like to 19, first year, like really starting to work my job and pay attention to money a bit. Every year since I've got my tax return until this year, my money was immediately invested. This is the first year I've had to catch up and like buy bills. Like I'm lucky I'm not really in any debt, like nothing major.
Mm-hmm.
I have my business LLC, but again, I don't count that as bad debt because that's money I've put in to invest in myself to earn for myself in the future.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that. But in terms of like actual debt, I don't really have anything crazy. I got really lucky where I didn't have to pay for my college. I am not in debt on my car. I'm not in debt on a house right now. I can kind of financially move around a lot. And this is the first year I still had to put my tax return into my debt and my bills, just rent even.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I see a lot of people like online, not even just online, on my personal Facebook page. I see people post about getting $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 returns from their tax professionals.
How much do they owe the next year? Does it bounce back?
You never hear from them again. But I know no, but I mean, like when you're getting 5-digit returns,
mm-hmm.
But you aren't investing in ownership.
Yeah.
To me, I think that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think this is a chance for us to kind of tell people like, hey, when you're getting these returns, $2,500 in some type of asset that's going to grow.
Yeah. Something.
You get $10K. I mean, that's literally a down payment on a house. That's down payment and closing costs.
Yeah.
For $100,000 house. Yeah.
Maybe 2 houses if you have VA loan. But 1 0 down, one on another one. Like
we could talk about so many loan products that you could do with $10,000, like
that people don't even know about.
That's a rental property.
Yeah.
A very small one,
mm-hmm.
like a 1 or 2 bedroom.
Maybe,
you get a tiny house.
Yeah.
You get a tiny house. You get a $50K tiny house.
Yeah.
With $10,000.
Yeah.
Right. That rents out for $800 to $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now that $800 to $1,000 a month, what would your mortgage be on a $50,000 tiny house?
I always, and I could be wrong, but in the current market, I usually assume if I'm borrowing $100,000 at normal rates, I'm paying $600. So I'd say 3 before your taxes and insurance.
$300 a month that you're responsible for. Your renter is paying you $800 to $1,000.
Yeah. So you might be on the hook for $600 after tax and insurance, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a high number.
Yeah. But I mean, like simple math, Simple
Making
math. I'm not.
$200 minimum.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, the whole 700 is not your cash flow, but you're at least ahead to where that's buying you groceries for for a week.
Paying your gas.
Your gas.
Yeah.
Your $5 a gallon gas. That's. I'm going electric, so it's.
I want to, but I also don't. Like, I would have an electric car as like a second car if I could afford 2 cars.
Mhm.
I would just hate to rely on an electric car, because then what happens if the grid goes down, if you don't have a charger for a certain amount of time, if your Tesla just drives itself back to the store because you were late on your bill.
See, I had first world problems, so I have a plug in my garage.
All right.
Where I don't have to worry about the charger because
You're rich.
Plug my, no, it's not even about that. It's just I've afforded myself certain luxuries.
Yeah.
Okay. So my home is set up to where I don't have to leave in an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like
that's the goal. That's a side goal, 100%.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, like I'm comfortable here. And then like and I got a taste of it during COVID.
Yeah.
It was like during the pandemic, it was like, okay, I could spend the rest of my life in here.
Yeah. You have your own like garden, you growing your own food.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a garden on the side of my house. My wife maintains it. We got the ergo garden downstairs in the basement. Where you can grow in the house in case, the air becomes toxic.
Yeah. Or you can grow in the winter too, even out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basement set up nice. We got a couch and some carpet down there. Everybody's got their own room. So, no
one's going to fight each other.
Yeah. We got space.
Yeah.
We got space,
Yeah. Rainwater collection. That's what we're trying to do this summer. Rainwater collection.
That's next on the list.
That into the garden. You never have to water stuff.
I got a quote for gutters that scared me. It was one of those I forget the name of the company, but apparently you only have to do it once. And it's a lifelong gutter protection where you never have to clean your gutters again.
All right.
It was like $16,000. I was like, no, I can't.
So much with $16K. You buy a car with that.
Man, I'm trying to. I'm like, I think I did.
Yeah,
I think I did, but
you saw the guy. He's like, I'll go get a car.
I think that's what I ended up buying with the $16K that I didn't spend on gutters.
Yeah, what kind of car?
It was not the Equinox.
Is it the Arcadia? That one?
The Terrain.
Oh yeah.
The Terrain, full moon roof, leather seats. Oh yeah, it was decked out. Got a nice one.
That's dope. And that's doing so much more for you than gutters. Like in your day to day, and like just your satisfaction of buying stuff. That's why I think is always so tough with selling loans. And like James always says, it's like, it's not sexy. The thing we sell is not sexy. We're selling you less payments every month, which is cool. Yeah. But like, it's not like a new car you can go show off to people, or like, oh, look at my fancy new gutters, irrigation into my entire garden.
Now, see, that's where I flip it, because I think we have two different approaches on that.
Mm-hmm.
I love for people to take equity out and buy things that they can enjoy.
For sure.
Because if I don't let you roll this into your house, you're going to go get a private loan from the bank to get your
double
to get
percent,
your 30,
whatever we get.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go buy a 30-foot boat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to pay it off in 7 years.
Yeah.
At 8% interest. So you're going to have a $1,200 payment when it could have cost you $200.
But you couldn't get the stigma of, oh, I'm adding to my mortgage debt. That was just the stigma that people are in with that, I feel like.
Yeah. But it like I said, it doesn't work that way. If you enjoy something enough, you justify every week putting money in the FanDuel over investing in the stock market.
Yeah.
So you're not going to convince me that you can't add $200 to your mortgage to get rid of the credit card debt and go buy a boat.
That's true. Or at least take the money out of FanDuel. That's what I had to have people start telling me, like, yo, you won a couple hundred, take it out. It doesn't need to stay in FanDuel.
I had a few years ago, I had a Discord where we would do that. We would make sure bets on FanDuel, take the money out and invest it in the stock market and stock options.
Okay. So you would take gambling winnings and gamble again, probably even riskier on the markets.
Yeah, but it was fun, and we did
Oh,
it
for sure.
Yeah, I did it again yesterday.
Yeah.
Tesla was Tesla option yesterday when was going for like $191.
Did they do a stock split recently? I haven't. Oh no, optioned. Okay, I was gonna say.
This was a contract.
Okay.
So it was at $399 at close yesterday.
It's at 411.79 right.
Oh yeah, it was at 413 this morning. We sold the option for 610. So I was explaining, a friend called me. I wouldn't even been looking at this. One of my friends called me and she was like, I want to learn how to trade options. I'm like, what do you want to learn how to trade options for? I was like, here, take my Hard Rock referral.
Say, clip that. I want to do a podcast where you teach me how to do options one day. Cause I know a little bit, but it still throws me off.
No, bro. It's like, I'm not going to say it's easy, but like if you've got a couple $100 that you're trying to blow, like it's the juice is worth the squeeze.
That's why I need you to teach me. Cause I did that once. I had $100. It was gone. It was like, I think I would have preferred to do a parlay. I think I would have had more fun.
But so that's the risk. So I told her, I'm like, hey, I'm looking at Tesla right now. We got a strike price of 410. I'm looking at the chart. This gap's got to fill.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, they got some news and people buy on news. Tesla's one of those stocks that doesn't really move on fundamentals.
Right. Buy the rumor, sell the news, but everything is a rumor every day. Exactly. Elon and Tesla.
So I'm like, hey, this is gonna shoot up. So it closed at $399 yesterday. I had her look at she screenshotted me some options. So I got proof of us like doing this.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, that 410 looks pretty good. I thought the chart was saying it was gonna go like 408, 409.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, let's go 410 just because it's out of the money and it's the cheapest one on here. It was $191 for one contract.
And that's because of the risk, right? Like
exactly. So our expiration date was tomorrow, Friday, 5/8.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like,
you
hey,
can cash out early if you want to.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I told her, I was like, hey, this is what I call a lotto. Mm-hmm. It's like putting a parlay in.
Yeah.
We're gonna take $200. We're gonna put it on this option, and if it hits tomorrow, we Gucci.
Yeah.
If not, we lost $200. Who cares?
But you would have lost in a parlay. You would have lost
exactly
spending your money on something. I know a lot of people who blow $200 a week on something they could go without a week. You know.
Yep. And so the way that I do it, like when I'm reading my charts, I'm sure that it's going to hit this number. What I'm not sure of is the date that it's going to hit that number.
The longer you set out in the future, the less risky it is, right? So the less return you could get.
Exactly. The more expensive it is up front because you're paying the premium.
Okay.
So yesterday, we have 2 days for it to hit our number.
Okay.
It's 191. I told her to look at another one for 515, which was next Friday.
Okay.
The 5/8 expiration was $191. The 515 expiration was $640.
Dang. Okay.
Today, or I should say this morning, the 5/8 expiration costs $610, or it was $6.10 for 100 contracts. So $610
versus 191
versus 191 the day before. The 5/15 expiration was $1,220. So one tripled overnight, the other one doubled overnight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But those are the type of risks where I'm talking about if I'm going to go to work all week and make $200.
That's a good risk.
That's a good risk to take.
Because it could just as well go down, but your parlay might not hit.
Because what else am I going to buy with it? Chick-fil-A? You know what I mean? Like,
over a week, if you get it for lunch every day, damn near 200.
That's Bucharest every day. Mm-hmm. For that's a $20 lunch all week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying don't eat to make trading options your life, but what I'm saying is if you're going to spend that money anyway, let's try to make more on what we have.
Yeah, put that $200 away. I always look at like $1 invested a day is $1 given to yourself in the future kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, kind of like what I was saying with my LLC, I got an Amex card, 0% interest for the first 12 months. I spent like $6,000 down. I bought all the equipment I needed to go DJ places, to get my music set up, software, everything. And then I used that to earn me money while my money was sitting at 0% interest.
Yeah.
So I was buying, you could say I was like buying my time back through money in a sense, like putting that money aside that I didn't need to spend, didn't need to put time in at work for. And I was able to I got gigs out of that as a DJ that I wouldn't have gotten had I not bought that equipment. And I wouldn't have gotten more gigs because of doing that gig. So the residual income I made from just putting myself out there and spending that money up front got me where I needed to be in a sense with that, I feel like, or pushed me.
I feel like I know the answer to this already, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If you could choose right now between earning more money or owning more assets, which would you pick?
Right now, in my current situation, I feel like I have an income problem. And the only reason I'm mad about my income problem is because I don't have enough money to buy more assets. That's literally the thing that I get upset about every day. Is like, I can pay my bills. My bills are fine. I want more money to buy more assets. And that's why I feel like I'm so behind. What we were talking about earlier is I don't have the money to buy assets. So if I could just be given one, I want the assets because I can trade those in for money at any time and they'll earn me. I was going to buy them anyway. So I just take those.
Yeah. And I think that's important to say, like, you're not behind.
I hope not.
You feel that way because you kind of put, you putting the pressure on yourself of, I don't have X, Y, and Z in assets. I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I think everybody feels like that. I look at Elon Musk, right? This is a dude with $1 trillion in value, right? He doesn't have to do anything, yet we see him every day.
Yeah. If I had that much money, you would never hear from me again. Never.
There would be signs of me like I would erase the signs of me disappearing from
yes.
Like there would be no trace of my existence.
Yep.
With $1 trillion net worth.
Oh my gosh. I'd be gone.
Like there's no reason for you to have money at that point.
I'd have my own planes everywhere. I'd have my own houses I want to live in everywhere, bought under LLCs that are privately held. So you couldn't see my name is on those LLCs. Like no one would know where I am or what I'm doing at any point.
Assets, man. Assets are the name of the game. That's the whole reason money even exists. They said, hey, we can't contain all these assets. So we're going to start making these little paper coupons for you guys. And we'll give you the asset if you give us enough of those paper coupons.
Yep. Like JP Morgan said, gold is the only real money. And then because I think that was right around the time they made the Federal Reserve. 15 years later, they confiscated all the gold and gave you dollars in advance for that. And that was at like $35 an ounce.
Little history lesson.
If you had that same $35 ounce then as now, it's worth $5,000. It's crazy.
Oh,
makes me mad.
Well,
yeah, we're at like about an hour.
I think so. If this episode hits you right, then the thought should be not I need more money. It should be I need to change how I move. So follow First and Future Finance. Send this to somebody who keeps making money but never feels like they're getting ahead. I'm Dibbs. This is Liam.
Yep. Put some questions in the comments next time. I want to hear from you guys. I want to answer questions. We forgot to do any today.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.